Today I wanted to make a video about the old Hayes Cemetery in Decatur, Illinois. This is a small family cemetery. It's located near the Stephen Decatur High School and a soccer field and apartment building and playground. Got a old wire fence, mulberry tree. One time they were talking about cutting the old mulberry tree down. An elderly lady was telling me about it because I happened to be sitting up on that hill right there, and she came along and I told her, I said, "Oh, I hope not." And she said, yeah, she hoped not either, and she was going to try to stop it. Well, she must have stopped it because the tree is still here. I love this mulberry tree. This cemetery is really well maintained, even though some of the headstones and some of the stones are missing and some of the headstones are broken, but still well maintained by somebody. This fence right here, it's been repaired, but that old hook on it, yeah, that somebody shot it up with BBs, and I seen BBs in it at one time, but BBs have been taken out since then. But I'm gonna go in here. It's kind of hard to open the gate, but get in here. The earliest known person buried in here is Rebecca Hayes, and she died in 1857. I'm not sure if her tombstone is still able to be seen or not. I know there's graves right here. I've seen tombstones here in the past, and I don't see them now. All the tombstones and graves seen here are facing this wooded area right here. And I have a strong feeling, I don't know if this is fact or not, I'd have to check into it better, but I have a strong feeling that the land nearby this cemetery and the surrounding area might have belonged to the Hayes family, but I can't say this for sure. There's also a good-sized creek back there in the woods also. I've been there before, but I'm not going to go there today. And it's Stevens Creek, and it goes into the Sangamon River. And like I said before, many of the tombstones are deteriorated and broken. And there's a big mulberry tree here, which is pretty cool. This is Hannah Hayes's grave, born January 10th, 1843. She died the day before Christmas, 1844. I've always found this cemetery pretty interesting. Yeah, it's pretty interesting in here. I used to sit in here sometimes in the past, quite a bit underneath this tree over here. It's like standing around here. It's so peaceful in this cemetery. Most cemeteries are, but nice breeze. Some of the people, when I did a little bit of research, what I could find, some of the people buried here was Johnny O. Hayes, died November 11th, 1864. John R. Britt, born June 10th, 1854. He died January 26th, 1856. He was a kid, about 2 years old, toddler. Lewis Brett, born September 4th, 1861, died December 22nd, 1863, right before Christmas. In fact, there was two that passed away on the same day but different years, like Mary A. Rhodes Hayes. She was born January 28th, 1835, and died February 11th, 1863. And then John Robert Hayes Sr. and Mary A. Rhodes both died on February 11th, but different years. And then Lewis Hayes, he was born August 29th, 1862, and died October 1863. This is William H. Hayes' grave right here, February 3rd, 1860 to October 5th, 1934. And Johnny O. Hayes died November 11th, 1864. John R. Britt, born June 10th, 1854, died in January 26th, 1856. Might already said that because some people have. It's not hard to get it confused because some people have the same names. They carried on the same first and last names too when they were related. There's an old tombstone there that fell over or broke off. Maybe it broke off from that other one right there. But yeah, this is the old Hayes Cemetery. And now I have something else I wanted to talk about. I'm not sure if it concerns the cemetery or not. I don't really think that it does, but this pine tree right here, there's a story about one time I went to visit a relative that lives nearby here, and strangest thing happened. We were coming through here in a huge storm, bigger than I'd ever seen almost before, came up all of a sudden. And that storm, the clouds were like pitch dark, and there had to have been almost 60 to 80 mile an hour winds, and it knocked the breath out of us. The wind did, and it started pouring down rain. And we were located where we could see this area right here. And this lady, we were standing underneath that pavilion right there. We ran to that pavilion. I don't know if you could see that real good. But we were under there, and we were still down and crouched down, but looking this way because the wind was like really bad. And some lady came out right about there, out of this area right here, walking really slow. And she walked right to about here, where I'm standing at right now, right here. And then she turned like this, and she stared right at us. She's walking super slow, like she was coming right towards us. But she kind of looked like a zombie almost, the way she was walking, really slow. But she was dressed in like 1970s or 80s style clothes. And she was walking just like this towards this pine tree right here. Super slow, like the storm wasn't even affecting her or anything, just like she came out of another dimension or another realm. And she walked right here by this pine tree, like she was heading towards the pine tree in the cemetery, and then she disappeared. Totally disappeared. And if it hadn't been for the way she was walking, I would have swore it was just somebody got stuck in the storm and went in this pine tree for shelter. But I don't believe that was the case. Now, I had two theories about it, which might sound like super crazy. And you can, if you're watching this video and you want to leave a comment on what you think about it, let me know, because I'm open to ideas on what could have happened. The first theory I had was it could have been somebody that passed away that was, their soul or spirit was still around here, and they materialized because the storm, you know, being so powerful, maybe they got energy out of that storm and they were able to materialize with some of that energy, and they came through here. But my other theory is maybe it was somebody that was a time traveler, maybe, and the storm had something to do with it. Either way, I think the storm had something to do with having the ability or the energy of that person or whoever it was able to materialize where we could see it. And I wasn't the only one seeing it. I'm not going to give anybody's name, but I had a family member with me, and they saw it too. And they saw, you know, that person too, and they looked like they were in the flesh, but they didn't act like they were. They kind of acted like they were, you know, walking really slow and like they came from another dimension or another realm. That's how they were walking. And I just never forgot that, and it's always stuck in my mind. And I always thought what could have been, you know, with that storm and that person, what could have made it where that person was able to materialize. Because in my mind, I'm 99%, maybe even 100% positive that that person was not in our realm. They had materialized because of that storm, because that was one huge storm. I don't think this town's had a storm like that since either. But I don't think that person, they might have been coming by this cemetery, but I don't think they are buried in this cemetery if the clothes they were wearing were too modern, you know, for the ages and years on these tombstones. But that's another thing I thought about. So really, really strange. Leave your comments if you want to on the end of this video, and Let me know if you've had any paranormal experiences that sounded similar to mine, or just any paranormal experiences at all. And I did take the EMF meter through here once, and it did go off, but also when I had a small ghost box, it said the name too of somebody that was in the cemetery, their first name, but that, could have been a coincidence. But that lady that we saw, she looked like she was in the flesh, but she didn't act like she was. And just give me your thoughts about it. Until next time, blessed be.